Hello, Bamberty here with another gate exploration. And today we are looking at gate 8 as the sun transits into this gate on Tuesday, the 14th of May. This is the gate of contribution, where we find the basic worth realized in contributing individual efforts to group goals. It's a mouthful. Okay, let me share my screen. Hey. Gate 8 is in the throat. You may remember the sun is traveling through all of the throat gates over the next 3 months as we work our way through this quarter of civilization. This is a gate that is looking down towards the G center, and it's an individual gate. All throat gates have a voice, as you would expect, and this is the voice of I know I can. It's the gate of contribution, so it's usually I know I can contribute. Or not, of course, we always have the or not. We have moved from the 23rd gate to the 8th gate, these two gates kind of mirroring each other, as you can see in this illustration, both in individuality on either side of the throat, the 23 pointing up towards the head center and the 8 pointing down. So they're both in individuality, of course, and they both have the ability to express the possibilities of individuality. The 23rd gate is saying, I know or not. And the 8th gate, I know I can make a contribution or not. The 23rd gate is explaining its knowing, but the 8th gate is living out that knowing. It's making a contribution through activity, or it's contributing through individual expression, through being an example. The 8th gate, it offers its individual contribution to the whole. Imagine that there's a group of tourists and they're out exploring and they get themselves lost. The 8th gate is not logical. It is not saying, I think I know the way. Nor is it abstract, saying, I remember that we go this way. No, this is the individual gate that acts as an example. So our 8th gate is going to stand up and walk to the front of the group, and they're going to get everybody's attention just by doing that. And they'll say, I know I can find the way. And they head off, they leave. It's up to the rest of the group whether or not they follow, because this is not a gate of leadership. This is a gate that will do its own thing. So if other people want to take the chance and follow, that's great. But the individual is not going to drag anybody with it. The contribution of the individual is not something that can be forced onto the collective, because that would lead to resistance. But when it's offered as an example, that can be more easily accepted. And if it is invited first, because this is a projector gate, then that's going to be even better. The duality that we live in means that this voice of gate 8, which says, I know I can, also says, of course, I know I can't. Like all of the throat gates, well, like everything, really, there is this polarity built into it. I know I can make a contribution to group effort through my individuality, or not. I'm not interested in making a contribution to group effort through my individuality. This is the nature of the 8th gate. These are people who are born with the gift of knowing how to draw people's attention to a truth of some sort, to a knowing that they have. They always have a need to express their own individual contributions, as well as that of others, actually. They're always looking for something or someone new to promote. If they stand up to point the way, they will happily carry on that way, regardless of whether anyone else follows them. If they find something that they want to promote, then they'll go ahead and do that, regardless of who is taking notice of what they're promoting. They're an individual. They will follow their own unique paths. This is a gate that is often likened to the manager, a manager of a band or an artist or actor. So it's the contribution of the manager that then allows this self-expression or the contribution of the artist to be noticed. Gate 8 opposite gate 1 being the gate of self-expression. So together they have this sort of power that comes up and is expressed out through the throat. Share my screen again. This is such an incredible few weeks that we're in here, as you can see from this drawing, this illustration, that it's a really individual time. A couple of transits back, we had gate 24 here in the ajna, if you can see my pointy thing, my arrow, my pointy thing. Okay, my arrow. So we had gate 24 in the ajna, and that transited down through round the wheel into gate 20, in gate 2, which is here in the G center, this diamond here. Gate 2 is right underneath this. I could put this. I wonder if I can. No, I can't put this. Yes, I can. Slightly to the side. Yay. Okay, so you can see gate 2 here. And gate 2 is opposite in the wheel to gate 1. Oh, what's going on there? Okay, to gate 1. So also individual there. Then gate 2 goes to gate 23, which is here, another throat gate, of course. And the 23 is opposite in the wheel to 43. So it's another individual gate. And then that 23 became the 8. Well, it's pretty amazing, really, all of this individuality. And the polarity of the 8, what grounds the 8 is gate 14, which is another individual gate down here. This is the gate of power skills. Have I moved my window somehow, haven't I? Okay. Gate 14 here in the sacral center. Yeah. The gate of power skills. In the I Ching, it is called possession in great measure. And it's often illustrated by a cart that is piled high with goods, because that symbolizes abundance, but also the power that comes with abundance. It is, of course, a sacral gate, and it is known as the fuel to empower the self and provide the direction for the vehicle, because, of course, it's looking up to gate 2 at the other end of its channel. Gate 2 is where the driver sits. This is where the magnetic monopole sits. So it is the accumulated power of the 14 which rises up and empowers the contribution of the 8 to the whole, to the totality. This central column of individuality, it actually could go from the 60 right up to the 61 with the red line, because that is this whole mutative force that goes up, this whole individuality, this push. It's a very powerful mutative channel. And that, of course, is one of the big keywords for individuality. You know, it's mutation, transformation. This is a very transformative time. So how is your life right now? How's it hanging with you? Transformation can be a time of great upheaval. It might not necessarily be comfortable. You know, there could be some melancholy. That's one of the keynotes for individuality as well. Melancholy leading to creativity. How's it feeling for you? What's going on in your body? Are you able to feel into it without telling a story about it? If you're feeling any of these things, then are you able to sit with those feelings? You know, I invite you to consider doing so, because there can be a great power in sitting with discomfort, not distracting ourselves with other things. You know, I'm finding this individuality season quite challenging. There's nothing specific that I could point my finger to. Maybe it's just a feeling of change in the air. Something. Something is going on. And of course, it's spring here in my part of the world. You know, that brings its own energy. The sap is rising. It's a powerful time. And in its way, it can be equally as melancholic as autumn, you know, in a slightly different way. But these are the energies that are pulsing through everybody. And it's a global thing, of course, because everybody is affected by these cycles of the sun, this solar journey through the wheel. If your throat is usually open or undefined in your chart, are you able to feel the pressure that these sun transits are bringing? Do you feel more of an urge to express yourself than usual? If your throat is defined, what are you noticing? Many of the throat gates are in projector channels, which means that they are designed to wait for an invitation. How does that feel to you? You know, are you able to wait before contributing? You've got all this wisdom and you know, but you haven't been asked to share it. How does it feel when you contribute without an invitation? And how does it feel if there's no invitation at all? Because we can be waiting for an invitation, it doesn't actually mean an invitation is ever going to come. Would you like to explore these questions? I invite you to explore these questions if that feels correct for you. They can be very powerful and very enlightening and very empowering as well. Individuality is an empowering circuit. So that's me for now. Go gently, and I will see you next time for an overview. We will be in Gate 20. But until then, enjoy Gate 8 and your unique contribution. And I will see you soon.